Katherine Black reacts. Emmerdale, part 8, spoilers throughout, although we're going back over a month, so you've probably already all seen it. So, also known as the Soul Files. So, did Graham kill Ray Verona? We've had the foreshadowing of Graham. We still haven't seen him yet, but we know he's coming. He's like Christmas. He's on his way. April. Now, this is where we start the flashbacks. We're not going into full flashback. At this point, we're backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards. So we see April with blood all over her hands and Ross looking shocked, holding her hands and going, oh, because April's got blood on her hands. Then we see a back view of somebody's bum. And they go like this, and they pull a very distinctive red-handled knife out of the back pocket. It looks like a young person. At this point, I'm thinking, is it Arthur? He's wearing jeans, looks very young. Could be Arthur, could be somebody else. So now we go into full flashback. We get a big notice on the screen saying that we are going back to the 15th of January. The day that it all happened. So, Laurel asks Arthur. She runs in the house. She's had a screaming abdab with Ray on the doorstep. Marlon's lurking in the bushes watching. Somebody in a car is lurking, watching. We know who that is. And probably half the village are lurking round gravestones and walls and peering out of the cafe window watching. Anyway, Laurel has a screaming argument with Ray. You're done. You're out of my life, you despicable monster. You horrible human being. Go away, go away. She runs in the house. She grabs Arthur, who's making a cup of tea very innocently. She grabs Arthur. Are you dealing? Are you dealing for Ray? No, Mum. No, of course I'm not. So we've had Arthur popping up all over the place. We rarely see him, but he's prevalent. So did he kill Ray? At this point, we don't know who killed Ray. So this whole point of all the flashback, we have about 2 episodes of total flashback now, going back to the 15th of Jan and the aftermath of the drugs and the human trafficking. And at this point, because we've been there and we've come away from it and we've moved on, I couldn't give a damn who killed him. I don't care. It would take a 2-minute conversation, somebody confessing, police sweeping in, get them arrested, all over and done with, new story, move on, let's have a bit of humour and a bit of light-heartedness. But no, we're going back to the 15th of Jan. And we keep having this flashback to April with the blood, to Marlon, to somebody young pulling a knife out of his pocket. It turns out to be Marlon. He's not that young at all. But it's Marlon with the knife. Ray breaks into Laurel's house, and that covers the majority of the rest of this episode. Ray breaks in. He goes into cool, calm psycho mode, which is kind of nice. Laurel is freaking out. Get out of my house. Please leave me alone. Please just go away. He takes her phone off her very calmly. Please, can I have my phone? Of course you can, Laurel. Just not yet. You're going to hear me out first. He makes tea and we have this lovely scene of Laurel freaking out, trying to escape or looking for ways to escape, looking at the poker. And him just calmly making tea in a big red teapot. No, I do love this teapot, isn't it nice? Pour, pour, pour. Laurel looks at the poker by the fire. And what are you going to do with the poker, Laurel? Are you going to hurt me? Do you really think you can? Anyway, Ray goes into his background. Now, we've had snippets of this over the last 6 months. Ray didn't have a good early childhood. He ended up living with his granddad. Granddad was drinking. Granddad tried but couldn't look after him. The electricity, if it went off, it stayed off. When there was no food in the house, they went hungry until Granddad pulled himself together and went out shopping and fed him. And then one day Granddad went out and he walked in front of a bus, truck, train, I think, and killed himself. He left a lovely little note in his pocket saying, please look after Raymond, he's a good boy, really. He isn't, he's a little psychopath in the making. So Raymond goes onto the streets, and at 8 years old, he's on the streets. Cold, alone, nobody to care about him, nobody to look after him, excuse me, itchy nose, until Celia finds him, and Celia takes him in and becomes his psychopath mother, and brings him up in a very warped little relationship. So we don't doubt that this is true, but as Laurel says, that doesn't excuse what you did. Yes, but I couldn't help it, Laurel. I went through all this. She said, yes, you went through all this as a child. As an adult, you made choices to be a drug dealer and to groom children and to have people as slaves. Yeah, but it wasn't my fault. It was the way I was brought up, and it was what Celia made me do. Why didn't you walk away? I couldn't walk away because I love Celia. Blah, 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 blah. He begs Laurel to let him go, and then we have this ridiculous moment where Laurel says, go on then, go. Go on, go. So Ray leaves the house. Laurel in bits goes round to talk to cafe owner Nicola, and Laurel's this whimpering wet mess. Nicola's saying, what a monster, what a horrible man. We have to go to the police. Of course you do. That is the next logical step. But Laurel cries and she says, no, he had an awful life and I love him. What? This man, it was only a matter of time till he abused your son by putting him into his drug dealing ring. He traumatised, hurt and attempted to kill half of the village. But I love him. Oh, grow a pair, Laurel. Anyway, Nicola talks around and Laurel says, what was I thinking? Of course I don't love him. He's a bad man. Duh. Keep seeing the photo of Arthur in the background. Nicola talks around. Arthur, who has been lurking everywhere, like a little shadow around the place, he goes and confronts Ray. And he's like a little fly. Ray swats him away and says, go away, little boy, don't be so silly. And we end the episode with a shadowy figure in a car, and it cuts to his face, and after all this massive build-up, there he is. There's Graham behind the wheel of the car. Da, 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 da. And we end the episode. Nice chat. Back with parts 9, 10? I don't know. Part 9. Back with part 9. Nice chat.